What up? What up? What up, bro? Hammerhead. Welcome to another episode of the Marcus Stewart podcast. This podcast is made for men, but you women, y'all can listen in if you want to from time to time. But today, I got a good episode, great topic. I'm talking about being a co-parent. In 2025, it seemed like don't nobody want to get married no more. Everybody is a co-parent. Either they got kids, they got a baby daddy, they got a baby mama. I know some people that's married, but with the way relationships is in 2025, man, everybody got kids. And a lot of people, a lot of guys especially ask me certain questions about being a co-parent. That's for lack of a better word saying the baby daddy. But I always tell them, I give them some certain things. And so today I'm gonna give you a couple of things, man. I'm gonna give you two things to help you as you co-parent. Then I got two practical things for you to think about as a co-parent. And then I'm gonna conclude the episode with some fatherhood advice for you, my brother. All right. So I'm gonna just jump right into it. What qualifies me to be able to talk about this? I've raised kids. My oldest son is 23. You've seen him on the episode. I have a 23-year-old daughter, and I have a 22-year-old daughter. And then I have a set of teenagers, and then I have one little mini. And so I've been raising kids really longer than I've been alive. I was a 16 when I had my son, and then it was just like a boom, 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 boom effect after that. Then I had kids with the lady that I married. And then I had another kid after that. So I've been in the system. I've been dealing with being a co-parent, a father, living outside the house with my kids for a long time. That is not something that I'm proud of, but I did learn a lot of things that I can pass on, to help somebody. And so, that's what this podcast is about. It's not to be judgmental. It's just to, help out the fellow man. So I'm gonna say this first, my brothers. As I always say, it's always smarter to choose wisely, because one of the things that I had to learn about being a co-parent is you still got to deal with that person. You know what Martin say? It's cheaper to keep her. Do you hear what I say, boy? I say it's cheaper to keep her there, boy. If you can stay with her, stay, because it's cheaper to keep her. But for most of us, when you realize, right, that you done smashed, but you don't want to deal with the person, you just want parts of the person, and sometimes it just kind of spirals out of control. But for the most part, you know what? The dudes that talk to me, they have these co-parenting problems. And so the first thing I want to start out by saying is you got to accept the new dynamic from going from a couple to a co-parent, going from being a couple to a co-parent. So the first thing you got to do is get over your feelings, my brother. Look, one of the hardest things for me, and that's why I say it's cheaper to keep her, because you still gonna have to see her, no matter how you feel. Like when you break up, guess what? It's over. But you still gonna have to see her. You still gonna have to talk to her. You still gonna have to deal with her. And it annoys me when you know some dudes are so in their feelings that you can't even communicate with the girl. All right, drop off. We gonna meet at the library. We gonna meet at the park just to exchange the kid. You got the mom in between it. I mean, sometimes it's just too volatile. But the first thing I tell you, and look, for all of you, my brothers that are watching this, you need to know this. Being a co-parent, bro, you number one, get out your feelings. Number one, you got to get out your feelings, my brother. Look, that's the hardest thing initially, is getting out your feelings. I don't care if she cheated on you. I don't care if she treated you bad. I don't care what she did, bro. You gotta get over your feelings or stay with her, because it's gonna be hard. If you don't get out of your feelings, you gonna be the one bringing the drama. You gonna be the one making it difficult. You gonna be the one that always got this extra stuff to say. And as a co-parent, bro, you gotta remove your feelings out of it. If you want things to go smooth between you and the mother of your kids, you're gonna have to learn to get over your feelings. You're gonna have to be mad some days and just keep it brief, not rude. I didn't say rude, my brother. I said brief. Keep it brief with her. Keep it moving. You don't want to be the one bringing the drama. No matter what she say, no matter what she do, you don't want to be the one bringing the drama. Number one, get out your feelings. You got to make the shift from being a couple to being a co-parent. You got to make the shift. You are not in a relationship with her anymore. You are not a couple with her anymore. You know what that means? You don't have to argue with her anymore. Get the divorce already, my brother. Look, it's cheaper to keep her. Get the divorce already. Get out your feelings about it. If y'all not together, don't be together. That means you can't still be smashing her. The number one mistakes co-parents make, they still be smashing. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. It's gonna start off cool. It's gonna start off light. It's gonna start off simple. But then when the real stuff happens, it always gets stupid. I'm telling you. Take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. And when you don't take my word for it, in 2 more months, when you realize that I was right, come back and listen to the video again. Don't smash her. Y'all are not a couple anymore. That means you don't need to be talking to her about how you feel. You don't need to be smashing her. You don't need to be going out on a date with her. Y'all don't need to be doing none of that. If that's what y'all gonna do, y'all need to be trying to work it out to get back together. Because if you try to be a co-parent with the gray lines, with the gray areas, is gonna always turn out to be a whole bunch of drama. Hope you hear me, my brother. Stop hitting it. Cut it off. Cut it off. Turn it off. What did Mike M say? Cut it out right now. Cut it off, my brother. You gotta stop smashing her. Look, go from you're not a couple no more. You're a co-parent. That means you don't have to argue with her. You don't have to respond when she talk about nothing. She'll learn to respect your position eventually if you learn to stop arguing with her. If she make you mad, bro, don't say nothing. Look, the one thing I had to learn about co-parent is getting out your feelings. You're gonna have to be the bigger man a lot. Sometimes women be petty. You're gonna have to be the bigger person a lot. When you a co-parent, they didn't tell you this right here. I know they didn't tell you. That's why I'm the one to tell you. You're gonna have to be the bigger person. She gonna throw little slugs. She gonna say fly stuff. She gonna blah this and blah that. Don't respond to it. Eventually, she'll understand that you're not here for the foolishness. You gotta let her see that you ain't about that. And no matter what she do, aside from getting physical, now this is what I say: she gonna respect your position, or she gonna respect the cops. You can't be scared to. Hey, you swing on me, you do something stupid, I'm calling them people, man. You gotta tell her, bro. If you got one of them, because I can tell you a whole lot of situations, but if you got one of them where she like to swing and get all physical and get all violent, she gonna either respect your silence or she gonna respect them cops. Because I show I put him in your life. But you're gonna have to be the bigger person, my brother. You gotta get out your feelings. First thing about being the co-parent, get out your feelings, get the divorce already, make the switch from being a couple to being a co-parent. Stop smashing her, my brother. Stop smashing her. Look, I would even go so far as to say this: it's a difference than being her friend and being a co-parent. You can have a good co-parent relationship without being her friend. Take it from me or don't take it from me, but I'm telling you, you can have a good co-parent relationship without being friends. That means when you feeling some type of way about what's going on in your life, she is not the person to call. And guess what? You shouldn't be the person that she called. It's just gonna muddy up everything. Y'all are not a couple anymore. You are not married to her anymore, Damon. Cut it off. I'm just telling you, you ain't gotta be mean. You can just tell her, say, you know what? I don't want us to have no gray area, like we've been getting along real good. And that might make her mad, right? But at the end of the day, she gotta respect it. We not a couple no more. We are now co-parents. You gotta get out your feelings, my G. Cut it off. I'm just telling, I'm the one to tell you, bro. Step one, get out your feelings. Make the switch from being a couple to being a co-parent. You're not married anymore. Cut it out. Keep it about the kids and keep it moving. Keep it about the kids and keep it moving. I'm telling you, if you try to do any other thing besides that, it's gonna either cause a conflict between you and her, or it's gonna cause a conflict between you and the person that you with, or the next person that you get with. You got to put things in place now, even if you don't have a new person right now. You got to put boundaries in place now, because when you get the new person, it's gonna be drama. Look, I'm trying to tell you, I done been there and done that, trying to be cool still. And then you get a person, and your person, she gonna feel some type of way. And you be like, it ain't nothing, we just friends. No, cut it off. Go from couple to couple. We are co-parents. We talk about the child, and that's it. She shouldn't be calling you when she had a bad day at work. That's what couples do. She shouldn't be calling. You shouldn't be calling her when you feeling some type of way. You and your feelings, or you need some. You no, y'all might as well get back together, bro. Like it's cheaper to keep her. I'm just trying to tell you, bro. You got to get out of that. Get out your feelings. Put them boundaries up, my brother. Put the lines, draw the lines in the sand, and let it be known. It's gonna teach her to respect you. As long as you still hitting it, as long as you still tipping and slipping, it's gonna be a problem. I'm telling you, you got to make that switch. Keep it about the kids. Keep it pushing. Keep it about the kids. Keep it moving. All right. Look, here's the second one, and this is a hard one. It's a big one. It's a hard one, but it's a big one. When it comes to being a co-parent, you have to be able to communicate. You got to be able to communicate. Y'all are gonna have to talk. Now, again, we're not talking about feelings. Look, I had a situation where when me and my ex, when we broke up, she had this thing where every time we talked to each other, it could be about the kids, and she would go on to tell me how much of a this I am, how much of a that I am, calling me all kinds of names and this. And I would say to her, hey, look, don't tell me how you feel about me, because I don't care. Tell it to your new man. I don't want to hear that. Guess what? I don't care. You think because you tell me you feel some type of way, I'm gonna go home and cry? I'm not. Stop telling me that, because it's not gonna do anything. I kept telling her that until she got it one day. She started up with the stuff. I just hang up the phone. I don't want to hear how you feel about me, ma'am. We supposed to be talking about the kids. You got to cut it off. Look, and I would say to her, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't want to hear that. Remember, my brother, you are not a couple anymore. So you don't have to hear that. You ain't got to put up with that. You ain't got to deal with that. Look, I would do this because I've had some situations and circumstances, my brother. Drama. I've been there, done that. That's why I'm able to tell you right now. You're gonna have to communicate, but you got to stop all the extra communicating. Every time, right? She would drop, like, because then I didn't have a car. I was on the bus. So she would be nice enough to bring them. My kids' moms, they was trying to have a weekend. Yeah, so they gonna bring them because they want to have a weekend. They were gonna have to take them to a babysitter anyway. So look, they would get to the house, dropping the kids off. You want to come upstairs? You can't come upstairs, ma'am. You can't. No, you can't do that. You know why? Because one day I'm gonna have a girlfriend, and we got to be able to communicate. But I gotta draw. You look, my brother. You got to draw the line. Now, get this. This is a hard one right here, my brother. When I say communicate, I don't. And this again, this is a hard one. I know that's your child, but you don't get to tell her what to do when she has the kids. You just gonna argue about that. Just like she don't get to tell you what to do when you have your kids. It's just gonna be an argument. That is not your look. If you wanted to tell her what to do with your kid, you should have stayed with her. If she wanted to be able to tell you what to do with your kid, y'all should have stayed together. But you can't communicate to her, don't take my kids here, don't take my kids. You got to look. That's why I say, man, choose right. You got to be able to trust that she is going to do what's best for your kids when you're not around. Just like she got to trust that you're going to do the same thing. If y'all get into this to where you telling her what she can and can't do when she's not when you're not around, and she's telling you what you can and cannot do when she's not around, it's just going to be an argument. You have to trust her just like she got to trust you. And you got to do what's best for the kids. And whether she believe that or not, she don't have a right to tell you what to do with your kids when they with you. But you don't have a right to tell her what to do with your kids when they not with you. I hope I said that right. You get what I'm trying to say. Communication is about the kids. This is why I say you need to get over your feelings because y'all gonna have to talk about stuff for the kids that has nothing to do with how you feel, that has nothing to do with what's going on. Because guess what? If you don't have a girlfriend right now, the day is gonna come that you have a girl and she gonna try to pull that fly stuff, and you gotta look. You don't get to tell me what I'm gonna do. You not my parent. You the child parent. So you can tell them what to do while they with you, but I'm the daddy. So you got to establish that, my brother, or else it's going to be conflict. Which brings me to the other thing when it comes to communication. You have to be able to navigate difficult conversations. Look, when I say you're going to have to be the bigger person a lot, bro, keep it respectful. Even if she get disrespectful, you keep it respectful. Even if she gets disrespectful, you keep it respectful. I'm telling you that because if you're not careful, you'll get sucked into that this arguing, this bickering, this fussing back and forth. Come on, man. You got better stuff to do than to be sitting up going back and forth with that woman. You ain't with her no more. Why are you arguing with her? Like, she ain't even supposed to get that kind of reaction out of you. And look, let me tell you this. This is why I say number one, you got to get out your feelings because y'all gonna have to talk about stuff. And guess what? She gonna say stuff that's probably gonna tick you off. But guess what? You got to learn how to ignore it, my brother. You gonna have to learn how to ignore it. Don't respond to the personal shot she might take. Ignore it and keep it moving. Remember what I said, keep it about the kids and keep it moving. Never respond in your emotions. She don't need to know that she made you mad, bro. She don't need to know that she got under your skin because as soon as you let her see that, she gonna keep doing it. That's why you got to get out your feelings because you don't want to be the one throwing slugs, being immature, saying that, come on, man. You gonna have to be the bigger person when it comes to being a car. I'm telling you, look, take it from me. If anybody tell you different, they lying. You're not supposed to be trying to appease her feelings in no kind of way. You're supposed to be respectful, but you're supposed to draw the line, my brother. I'm telling you, don't respond to them personal shots. Don't respond with your anger. Don't get the attitude back. Keep it about the kids and keep it pushing. Never respond with your emotions because she gonna use that against you. If she see that she can make you mad with the stupid stuff that she say, she gonna always say stupid stuff. And sometimes they just enjoy making you mad. It's the truth. They just enjoy pissing you off. They just enjoy seeing you get upset. And guess what? They driving away happy and smiling. And you all come on, man. Don't let her do that to you, my brother. Don't let her make you have a bad day. I started doing this because I used to fall for the okey doke. And then I started to realize this. I'm not gonna let her make me have a bad day. Well, she gone doing whatever. I was about to say something, but she gone doing whatever women do when they don't have kids. Happy, smiling, and laughing, and she having even better time because she know I'm over here mad. I would say this to myself. I'm gonna make her think that I'm about to have the best day, even if I ain't doing nothing with the kids. I'm telling you, you can't let her trigger you like that, my brother. You got to learn how to get over your feelings. I always focus on the solution. Don't get sidetracked arguing about old stuff. If you got one of them co-parents, if you got one of them female co-parents, right, that always bringing up old stuff, don't fall for the trap, my brother. Don't fall for the okey doke, my brother. Don't go sliding into that conversation. Let it, bro. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it go. Look, if she bringing up something that happened while y'all in a relationship, you got to remind her. Did you know that we not in a relationship no more? We are no longer a couple. We are co-parents. Tell her that. If she start bringing up stuff that she hated about you when y'all was together, remind her, ma'am, did you know that we are not a couple anymore? We are now co-parents. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the children. Keep it about the, come on, bro. Say it with me. Keep it about the kids and keep it moving. Focus on the solution. Don't get sidetracked with the okey doke, my brother. All right. So those are the two main things, right? Now I'm going to give you a couple of practical things that you could do when it comes to you dealing with your children, right? first thing, be consistent. Tell them, the children, because depending on how old your child is, you can tell them, okay, I'm coming to get you here, I'm coming to get you there. But be consistent. And I'll even go as far as to say this. Sometimes you do need to explain to them what happened. If you weren't able to get them, one of the things that I always made it a point to do was I would explain myself to my children, and it has nothing to do with the mom. It has nothing to do with the female co-parent. It has everything to do with, you want your child to know that they are important enough, that they deserve that they deserve an explanation, and being consistent. I told my children, I'm going to get you first, third, and fifth weekends. Yes, we will have time in between that. Yes, we're going to be spending extra time, but you know for sure, first, third, and fifth weekends, daddy is going to pick you up. They look forward to that. This is why I say that. It don't have nothing to do with the female co-parent. Your children are looking forward to seeing you. Your children are looking forward to seeing you. Whether you got money or not, they looking forward to seeing you. Everything that you say to them, they remember it. That's why I say you have to be consistent. If you can only pick them up once a month, let that be known to the child, and be there on time when you're supposed to be there. Be consistent for the child. You are teaching the child that they are important enough to you, that you will make whatever sacrifice you have to make to get them when you say you're going to get them. Be consistent. It has nothing to do with the female co-parent. It has everything to do with your child. They are expecting you. Forget the female co-parent. Forget the other co-parent. They are expecting you. And this is why I say this is one of those things, just things that you could do, practical advice for you and your child. Remember, everything you ignore and overlook and don't respond to is not because of the other co-parent, it's because of the child. You are teaching your child, without saying it, to respect you no matter what is said about you. If you become the bigger person, which you should, and I'm telling you, to be a co-parent, you have to be the bigger person. If you are always the bigger person, and they see that every time they get, you and the mom get together, that the other co-parent, the female co-parent, is always taking shots at you and you're never responding, the child is going to start asking the female co-parent, why you always saying stuff when he comes? Why you always mad? Why you always this? Why you always that? You get what I'm saying? By you not responding to the foolishness, you are teaching your child without teaching. Again, it has nothing to do with the other co-parent. It has everything to do with you sending the message to your child. I'm saying that because so many dudes that I know, but she said this, but she did this. She know exactly what she was doing. I know she know what she was doing, and so did she. But what are you saying to the kid, right? I'm gonna tell you this. Look, your job as a father, again, you are no longer a couple. Now you a co-parent. Now you are supposed to protect your child. You are supposed to protect them from conflict. I'm gonna tell you a story. One time, back in the day, it was a long time ago. My son was, I think he was like 5 or 6, and so every time, man, me and my female co-parent, I think that's funny. Every time me and my female co-parent would get together, man, we will argue. And I'm talking about like screaming, fussing, cussing, going back and forth. And we had this bad habit, right, of doing this in front of the kids. I'm talking about just angry, man. And so one day, um, I was on the bus because, again, a long time without having a car. Didn't have a car for a long time, but she picked me up from the bus stop because she was bringing the kids to the house, and I was on my way to the house. So instead of me catching that last bus, it was on her way. So she just picked me up. Man, I don't even remember what we was arguing about, but I'm gonna tell you what made me stop doing that. Because for my oldest son, we were in the car arguing, fussing, cussing each other out, yelling at one another, being angry with each other. She drops me off. I slammed the door, took the kids in the house, you know, Man, go in there and I'm mad and I'm upset. My oldest son at the time, he had to be like 7 or 8. I mean, it was normal to him. Us talking to each other that way was normal. Us screaming and yelling and being angry was normal. My other son, I could see that he was bothered. And but he didn't say anything. He held it in and I could tell he wanted to cry. So I called him over there to me and I said, "Son, come here." And then I said, "Are you mad?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "You mad at dad?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "You mad because you saw your dad talking to your mom like that?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then I said, "You mad at your mom for talking to your dad like that?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Does that make you feel bad when you see us, go back and forth like that?" He said, "Yes." And look, he couldn't even talk. He just started crying. And so I held him and I gave him a hug. I said, "Son, all right, you know what? I'm never gonna do that again in front of you." I say that because I want you to catch this. My oldest son, he was so used to us dealing with each other, it taught him that dysfunction was normal. It taught him that mom and dad are supposed to talk to each other like that. He didn't even think nothing of it. But my youngest son, just growing up, seeing this, hearing this, it hit him a different way. This is why I say this. Your kids don't need to see you yelling at the other co-parent. They love the other co-parent too. Just like they love you, they love the other person. So when they see the two people that they love going at it with one another, a little kid don't know how to process that. A little kid don't know what to do with that. A little kid don't know how to handle that. And this is why I say, as a man, as a father, as a parent, you doing that to the other co-parent, it might make you feel good to say what you got to say, but it's gonna make that child feel bad. That's why I say don't do it. Not because of the other person, but because of your kid. That to be a father, to be a co-parent, you gotta be ready to be the bigger person, my brother. I'm telling you, that is a real thing. You only hurt the kid when you say something negative about the other co-parent to or around the kid. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen when you stop doing it. Even if the other co-parent is doing it, the child will see it and call it out for themselves. They will see that daddy is not saying nothing. Daddy is not going back and forth. Daddy is not arguing. Daddy is not saying mean things to mommy. Mommy, why are you always being mean to dad? That's what is. Look, trust me on this. Trust me on this. Look, every single time that I have done that, the child is the one that made the other co-parent stop doing it. Because the child would say, "Why you always mean to daddy? Why you don't like daddy?" And no matter what the other co-parent said, because I prioritize the feelings of my child, no matter what they say, right? The child will get mad at the other parent for talking about you when you treat the child right. When they see that you are respectful, when they see that you are being the bigger person, I'm telling you, children see and understand more than what they can articulate. And my brother, I'm just telling you, not because of her, not because of the other co-parent. Do it for the kid. Here's another thing to think about as a parent, right? This why I say it's cheaper to keep her. Did you hear what I say? I say it's cheaper to keep her there, boy. Because when y'all break up, now you got to think about this. Where you gonna live at? You don't want to move too far away from the kids, um, school and everything. I mean, where you gonna live, your job, what if something happens at the school, you gotta get there. These are all the things I never thought about when when I realized, man, we going from a couple to a co-parent. I didn't think about that. And you know what? This is one of the big mistakes that some male co-parents make is they move so far away from the child that it messes with the time that they are able to spend with the child. And that is the worst thing that you can do. And so the thing is that you got to think about scheduling. You got to think about where you're going to live at. You got to think about, is it far away from the kids? You got to think about, how are you going to still see them and spend time with them and be around them and make time for them. You got to think about that. Of course, you don't want to move like right down the street. I mean, if you and the other co-parent can handle that, fine. But if not, you may have to move, to the other side of town. But it's something to think about, you know, scheduling and where y'all gonna drop the kids out, where y'all gonna pick them up at. Holiday planning. Who is the kid gonna be with? This is one. Look, for years, me and the other co-parent. I think this is so funny. Me and the female co-parent would argue about that. I'm gonna have them for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna have them for Christmas until we figured out, okay, you have them for Thanksgiving, I have them for Christmas, or you have them up until Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna get them the bottom half of Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna keep them for the rest of the week. Same thing with Christmas. Or we rotated the Christmas. They do this with the child support papers when you get the divorce or whatever, custody. But I'm just giving you something to think about. Living arrangement, pick up and drop off schedules. Here's another thing, my brothers. If you are a single man and you got kids and you know that groceries cost, and guess what? The child support still coming out your check. This is why I always tell dads, look, first off, I got an episode coming up because always get the DNA test. Always. That's number one. But beyond that, look, 50-50. If you get 50-50 custody, that means you have them 2 weeks. The parent of the other co-parent has them 2 weeks. That alleviates child support. Did you know that? Did you know that if you get 50-50 custody, you don't have to pay child support? You just have to pay for the child as long as they're with you. So you have to pay for child care. You have to pay for all of the medical expenses. But when they're not with you, the other co-parent has to pay for that. I had to learn that through the court system, through years of the court system. Number one, get that DNA test, my brother. I don't care what is happening. I don't care what kind of relationship y'all got. I don't care if she get mad. Get the DNA test, my brother. You never know. All of the Mari cases, I'm 1,000% sure you are not the father. Running to the back. I'm trying to spare you the heartache, my brother. But no, the point that I was making is 50-50 custody. But groceries cost. If you are on child support, when you get the kids, you still got to buy groceries. So here's what I started doing. I started getting groceries early. I started going to the grocery store. Like if I'm getting them on Friday, I'm going to the grocery store on Thursday. I'm going to the grocery store on Wednesday. I'm putting money back. Stash your bread, my brother. Look, I had to learn how to financial discipline my finances because I had kids. All right, just something to think about. All right, and finally, I got some fatherhood advice for y'all, man. Look, this is real talk right here. Your kids will not always be kids. They will grow up. The one thing I remember most about my mom and dad is that as a kid, I saw my parents for who I wanted them to be. As I grew up, I saw my parents for who they actually were. I say that to you because um, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices for your kid, man. You are. You're gonna have to keep your mouth shut sometime for your kid. You're gonna have to do that. Why? Not for where they are right now. Your kid may be 5. You doing it for the person that they're gonna be when they get 15, when they get 25. They will not always be kids. They are going to grow up and they will see the truth for themselves, no matter what you say. No matter what you say, they will grow up and see the truth for themselves. So that's why I say always show them love and respect. You don't have to be a pushover parent, but always show them love and respect. You don't have to let them do whatever they want to do, but always show them love and respect. I'm big on this. You shouldn't curse at the kids. I mean, look, because they will not always be kids. You teaching them things without even teaching them things. Like you don't realize that by you talking to them a certain way, you saying that it's okay for people to talk to them like that. I don't want my kids they may use curse words, but no, if somebody cuss at you, that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't talk like now you what you just say to me. You get what I'm saying? Like like always treat them with love and respect. They will see you for who you really are the older they get. They're gonna see the truth for themselves. And get this, you might have a difficult co-parent. That means it might get harder before it gets easier, but that's okay. It might get tedious through there, but that's okay. You can handle it and you can become better because of it. But I'm trying to get you to see this that being a co-parent, right, is your opportunity to raise your kids to be your favorite people. Because guess what? Now I see my kids and I raised them from babies. I used to hold them in one hand. I raised them. Now that's not saying I've been the best parent. That's not saying I did the right thing with all of them all the time because I didn't. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't do a lot of things that I feel like I should have done. And I was young parent. I didn't know no better. I made a lot of mistakes. I dropped the ball on a lot of times. But the point that I'm making you see is that your kids are gonna grow up, and you gonna have to have a relationship with them once they grow up. See, a lot of parents don't get that. They treat the kid a certain way while they little, and they expect them to respond to them a certain way when they get big. And it don't work like that, my brother. I'm telling you, it does not work like that. I know so many parents, moms and dads, who treat the kid a certain way the whole time that they little, and then wonder why the kid resent them once they grow up and see them for who they really are. Once they grow up and see the truth. Man, my mama don't really like me. My daddy don't really fool with me like that. I used to be so in love with him, but then I start to see the truth because they gonna get older. But look, you gotta see this for what it is, man. You are raising them to be your favorite people. That means you teaching them stuff, good stuff, not to be like you, to be good people. Because when they get grown, you gonna want to hang out with them. You gonna want to spend time with them. You gonna want, you gonna want to be with them. And they not gonna want to be with you if you done treated them like crap their whole life. They not gonna want to be with you. You've been talking crazy to them, never showed them no love. You ain't never care about them. Like, that's just good advice for you as a father, my brother. My brother. Do good now for who they're going to become later. You'll be glad that you made every sacrifice. I'm going to tell you this, man. Every time I talk to the kids as they grew up, they don't remember the money that I spent. I remember the money. They remember the time that I spent. They remember the weekends. And look, you're going to have to make some sacrifices, my brother. There'll be weekends, bro. I'm supposed to get you on the third weekend. And that's the weekend that the girl want to go out on a date on Friday night. And I know some of you co-parents, you're gonna tell the kids no to get them on Saturday and then go out on your date on Friday. No. I would say, nah, I'm getting my kiddos on Friday. Can we push it to next weekend? Can we push it to Sunday? Because they go home on Sunday. Some girls was with it, some girls will not. I would tell you this, my brother. I will tell you this. Those girls are no longer in my life, but guess who is still in my life? My children. So I made the right sacrifice. And I'm saying that to you too. Make the right sacrifice. Do good now for who they will become later. You will be glad that you made every sacrifice. You will be glad that you made every sacrifice. You remember the money, they're going to remember the time. And guess what? All of the money that I spent, did you know this? I made more money after that. I spent that and I made more money. But one thing you never gonna get back is time. Don't waste the time now, my brother. So look, that's all I got for you, man, for this episode. Just speaking out to the fathers. Your child needs you, my brother. Your child, your children, they need you, my brother. They need you to be the best version of yourself. This is one of the reasons why I created this channel. Your children need you to be the best version of yourself. The version, the alcoholic version, they don't need to see that version. The weed head version, they don't need to see that version. They need to see the better version of you. They need to see you growing. They need to see you maturing. They need to see you elevating yourself. One of the things that my son told me, they respect me because they seen me grow. They seen me change my habits. They seen me change my lifestyle. They knew who I was. They remember all the crazy stuff I used to do, right? But then they saw me change. They saw me make better decisions. They saw me grow. As I told you, I ain't always been this person, but they saw me grow. They saw me change, and it made them to respect me. That's what I'm saying to you, my brother. They don't need to see that version of you, the cussing version, the crazy, talking crazy to the other co-parent. They don't need to see that, my brother. They need to see the best version of you. So with that, man, look, I hope I said something, man, that got through to you. Share this with somebody. If you enjoyed this episode, give me the thumbs up. If you know somebody that this would be, beneficial to, go ahead and share it with them. You've been enjoying these episodes, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Man, this channel is just here to help you to be the best version of yourself. That's in parenting, that's in relationships, that's in just being a man. All right. So with that, man, I'll see y'all next Friday. And yeah, I'm Audi 5,000.